Hi, I'm back from my 4 months of disappearance and with a video. Now this isn't my usual video where I only call out one person and mention a few people that are slightly relevant and play a side role. But in this case, I'm making this video for not 1, not 2, not even 3 people, but 5. 5 people, harassing a few individuals which we'll talk about. We'll be talking about a handful of people who were called out multiple times for their harassment on a creator named Peachi. There will be a timeline for this considering the length, but we will discuss serious topics shown on screen. If you are sensitive to these topics, click off now and I will see you in the next video. If not, then proceed with caution. This was brought up to me in my server on January 6th, an Instagram story of someone who will remain anonymous calling out a person named Sema for alleged pedophilia, while also calling out a handful of former friends and now supporters of Sema for harassing this anonymous user's partner and Peachi. Of course this was serious to not ignore, so I asked for contact to the person who made the videos on Sema and the others involved, that being Peachi. She's provided me with insights on who this person is and what she did. So let's focus on Sema first. Sema, who is the main topic of this video if you cannot tell, is an alleged 16-year-old fan of the music Freak, making content on Instagram and her YouTube. Of course I can't see her content as she private her Instagram account as shown on the screen. Now what has she done aside the alleged pedophilia, which we'll discuss later on? Well, according to Peachi and her friend who will go by the name Cat, Sema is someone who has created suggestive and incest content to Cat unsolicited. For clarity's sake, Cat is 19, however it's still not okay to send content like that to her. Sema, for lack of better terms, is a minor, allegedly. Now you may be asking, what's the suggestive content? From what I've seen when researching for this video, Sema has made suggestive and incestuous gacha content of Xander from the Music Freaks, with a fan-made child of Sema's OC and Xander. As shown here, the images are predatory in nature. On top of that, shows incest due to the fan-made child, going by Jax, being taken advantage of by the father, being Xander. A major red flag in the field. Now, Sema made an excuse about this, stating that her mind made her do it, and I quote, "You should make Xander and Jax making out. I know they're father and son, but it's okay, some fathers and sons do it too. In any context or not, that's not normal, that is weird, if not, predatory in nature." This isn't an excuse to create an incestuous and predatory content to a minor, who didn't even ask for it, let alone someone who you just met. And let's make this very clear, regardless of the defenses that could be made here, Rosie made it clear in her series that Xander is gay and is canonically paired with Luke.
He's gay. You really don't know anything about your classmates.
I'm stubborn, a little selfish at times, and I get jealous easily.
You're also charming, witty, and extremely handsome.
On a side note, there is this alleged image of Sema saying she doesn't care about Xander being gay and disagreeing with anyone who thinks otherwise. Quite childish if you ask me. Cat and Peachi, rightfully so, decided to call out Sema for the unsolicited content she sent to Cat. And the response was, not so savory to say the least. Although I do want to mention that, there were a few people that allegedly confronted Sema about this along with the video Peachi had made, and the response was, this. I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. To put it short, mischaracterizing Peachi to be this evil, abusive person, which mind you, Peachi is a minor. Sema is also a minor. Sema has allegedly made an apology to Peachi and allegedly Cat. However, according to screenshots shown, it is only 30 seconds in length, and if you want an honest opinion, that is not enough to address everything she's done, the suggestive and incestuous content to Cat, the video she made on Peachi and such. The other red flag to put out there is that Sema did post this video as an unlisted. Now you can argue that Sema did it just so it can be shown just to Peachi. I would agree. However, the incident of Sema making the suggestive content to Cat was made public by Peachi as a way to warn people not to engage with Sema and hold her accountable. If I were in the victim's shoes and saw the video was that short and barely explained the things she's done, let alone properly apologize and make the video unlisted, I would be enraged, and rightfully so. Also, let's address this really quickly. The fact Sema here, in this now deleted apology video said quote, Peachi had the right to abuse me when I was forced to be his maid, unquote. Now this rubs salt in the wounds of the person she directed this to. This is peak mischaracterization, and I'm not surprised people like Sema can't take accountability on that. And speaking of the topic, when a friend of Sema was confronting her, this was her response. It doesn't matter if it was a few weeks ago, you made content that isn't made for minors, send it to someone unsolicited while knowing it was inappropriate. And speaking of inappropriate, it's been confirmed by someone who goes by Danny, who we'll also talk about in this video. Just wait for a bit, that Sema has made Gacha heat before all of this. There is an alleged claim that Sema made heat of her and Xander, which I won't even ask for it, nor do I want to see it. There is also a second apology which I can't really decipher or read properly as the wording is all over the place. Like guilt-tripping levels all over the place. Stating that the people here won't forgive her, comparing herself to Malco, which I won't even comment on. What's baffling is that she admits that the apology was fake. I'm not surprised. Followed with saying she, quote, is trying her best and trying to fix everything. And more guilt-tripping cause she said she felt stupid in trusting the people that called her out and to leave her alone if she had a problem with her. Deflecting much, Sema? Also, even if she apologized to most of the people involved, she didn't apologize to Kat, and when she did, it wasn't even genuine. Not surprised to say the least. It's been alleged that she was supposed to make another apology video, but surprise, nothing came out of it. Then there's this other apology which I won't explain. You can read it, and you can get the picture on why it's bad. And then this one, which sounds twice as bad when you realize, she wants Peachi to delete her videos on Sema, which, no, Sema, you don't have the obligation to tell Peachi to delete their rightful call out on you after what you did to Kat. And falsely reporting someone for harassment is also against YouTube's TOS and can get you permanently banned. We'll talk about the false reports later on, trust me. Now with Sema out of the way, let's talk about other people who were involved. We'll start with the worst offenders down to the least, as I find it more convenient to shed light to people who did something unforgivable to people who can possibly redeem themselves, but of course, that's just my way of doing things. Let's talk about Lucia, and my god, will this take pages upon pages to explain what this person has done. She is, by far, the worst offender of the bunch. But for the timeline of events, I will be mentioning it from the first video Peachi made on Sema all the way to when she was last mentioned. So let's begin. Lucia, or her YouTube handle Scarlet Panther Tales, is a 21-year-old gacha creator who partook in this issue alongside with a few people who we will be naming later on. Now at first, while researching for this video, is that Lucia was indecisive, stating during the confrontation with other people tied to Sema, Lucia wasn't sure of who to listen to the victims, or the culprit. But that decision didn't take long to make, as there is a screenshot of Lucia forgiving Sema after apologizing. Now you can argue they have the rights to do so. You'd be right on that, but there's a problem with that. Remember when I said most of Sema's apology weren't genuine towards the people she hurt? All it took was a guilt trip sounding apology for Lucia to forgive her and defend her. I would have given Lucia the benefit of doubt if she was a minor or a victim of Sema, and it's a protection tactic to still be with a person that harmed them. But be reminded that Lucia herself is 21 years old, she's a year my senior. An adult's brain may not be fully developed at the time, but she's old enough to know what is right or wrong. This is to you, Lucia, if you're even watching this video. Stating that Sema is your friend may be a valid excuse, but you are a grown adult. You should have known what is right from wrong. You should have known that you're defending someone who sent unsolicited, suggestive and incestuous content to a minor, made by a minor, and you should have cut ties with them permanently, or better yet, explain to them why that shit is wrong. No flimsy excuse like she's my friend will fix anything, and replacing someone won't fix the problem. And we'll talk about the replacing thing later, don't you worry about that. Lucia was shown proof about Sema's actions by Peachi and a few others only for them to be shut out by Lucia, who's completely denying these happened and accused them of not just harassing Sema but accusing them of throwing these accusations of Lucia like it was harming her. Seeing these screenshots when they were confronted by this, they were being calm and patient with these people. It's only the people who think Sema is innocent are the ones throwing a tantrum and throwing themselves to defend her like it's their lifeline. It baffles me how people like them even exist and can't see the wrong this person has done. Now let's move on from that and continue on Lucia's case. Lucia and Peachi got into an argument in DMs over an Instagram reel. The reel in question is shown on screen now, and at first, it does look funny from a standard point. Joking to cope is never a bad thing. But of course this was during a serious issue, and this did anger the people involved, mainly Lucia. Was it immature? Yes, Peachi has acknowledged that it was immature and it wasn't a good thing. Peachi did apologize, and that's good enough that she acknowledges her wrongdoings. But back to the point, Lucia's reaction to this was rather all over the place to say the least. Here's the argument on screen. However, I do want to highlight a few things while reading it. Stating the past is in the past and that Sema apologized doesn't need a rocket scientist to tell you that's another flimsy excuse to stay and condone her behavior. Stating that they were hurting her feelings and that she apologized to the people she hurt and they accepted it. I would say it did because it was making fun of Sema, but then again, Sema is a minor and should be held accountable for her actions, and personally in my own opinion, who would want feel empathy to someone who made a predatory and incestuous skit of a father and son and send it to someone they just met, who didn't even ask for it and making the excuse that her mind made her do it. There's a moral boundary to this and clearly Sema crossed it. And yes, Lucia, most of Sema's apologies were fake because she didn't address everything and crashed out in one of them. Also the fact she stated quote, "So what if he's gay?" Clearly addressing what Peachi said about why it's weird that a straight woman like Sema is pairing someone with a canonical gay character. Saying this is disregarding the creator's boundaries, disregarding Rosie's creation as a whole. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucia is homophobic for saying this while she's a lesbian. I can only assume and guess she is unless she wants to prove herself otherwise. But here's the low blow Lucia did and I won't sugarcoat any of it. The fact Lucia, a 21-year-old legal adult, using a minor's S/a trauma, who said minor trusted in saying such sensitive topics like S/a to at the time, and stating that she's using the anger of that trauma to take it out on Sema.
To wit, your punishment will be swift and righteous, and your head will roll!
Now I'll state it here, as a survivor myself, it is disgusting and immoral of someone to say that, let alone to a child. You're an adult Lucia, act like one. If you think you can get away with this, sleep with one eye open. Also again, falsely reporting videos in any platform violates their TOS, even Instagram. Don't say I didn't warn you. The same back and forth happened again in another group chat which I'll show here. Just going in circles again with the other party accusing Peach and the others who called out Sema for bullying and harassing her. Do I need to explain the difference between holding someone accountable and harassment and bullying is? Also I think I find it funny that she thinks role-playing would do any harm. If that logic was true, I would have eviscerated someone by now. There are more of these role-playing stuff on Lucia's end and it's just funny to see a 21-year-old woman is crashing out over being called out. Also as of writing the script, I just realized she pairs herself with Jake, who is a minor, if we're considering her real age being used along with Jake's canon age in the series. Yeah, it's predatory in nature, don't you think? After all of that and Lucia apparently blocking these people to avoid further accountability, she wrote herself a sob story making it seem like she's the victim and stating the people that called her out betrayed her, which by the way, they would have to be your friend to state that. And Peachi by all means, was not associated with you in any way whatsoever, which led to this post about Lucia replacing her quote friends because they betrayed her. Replacing someone because they don't fit your idea of friendship after you were consistently called out for protecting someone with predatory content or disregarding the humanity or feelings of the people who are holding you accountable, is objectification. And by its definition, it's the action of treating someone that disregards their humanity, or in short, treating someone like they're an object rather than a human being. I have to remind you that Lucia is an adult, throwing a hissy fit that she's doing something wrong and treating minors like they're just defective toys she can throw away. Real mature of you, Lucia. Also, what in God's name does Pomi even mean? Oh, well shit. Wasn't expecting to see Lucia was using derogatory slang on a bunch of minors. Good to know now because that makes more sense why she's calling them that. Lucia has also allegedly stolen people's OCs because of this quote betrayal, so that's fun. Knowing an adult is stealing literal children's OCs, allegedly forcing them into explicit or romantic situations without consent. There were more things she's done like twisting the narratives to make people go after Peachy, the other victims of this case. Tracing, which by the way, here's the side-by-side comparison, go support the actual artist since their art is gorgeous, and the list can go on. But enough with Lucia, as this has taken much of my time to write edit that she should have had her own video. But what do I know? There has been an update that Sema has now paired herself with Jake, which is fine I assume since she's allegedly 16, other than somebody here proving the age of a minor being way older to back up their claim that Sema can date said minor, which we'll talk about very shortly here. So for now, I will be iffy about the pairing until there's proof of her age. Just because she claims to be 16 doesn't mean I can take it as gospel. So let's move on to someone else who's equally as bad. By far the second worst offender of the group, so let's talk about them, shall we? So to start off, Maize is someone who has defended Sema and such. The same jazz as Lucia but with his own taste, so to say. There's an alleged post of him claiming this weird caricature was Peachi. Of course I can't find it in his channel as it was possibly deleted. However, there is this other channel who had it, and of course, as you can see, it's disgusting of them to do this to Peachi. And his age? Maize is allegedly in his 20s. An adult, allegedly posting caricatures of how they see a minor. All I can say is that regardless of the age, they shouldn't have made this post to a minor. Even if it's a joke or not, it's immature. Moving on, there is a post of Maize telling Peachi to alt F for herself, and do I need to explain why it's bad? Do I really need to explain why death threats like these are the reason why some of you people will get terminated off this platform? Do I need to remind you all that encouraging a minor to end themselves is a crime in some places of the world? The fact someone is telling a minor to end themselves is not only immature, but just downright disgusting. Regardless of the age Maize may be, he should not have said that and should be held accountable. Maize has also made these edits of him killing and eating people who were holding Sema accountable like Peachi, Cat, and 2 people named Pinky and Green. The list goes on. It's not weird personally, it's just cringe. The fact he also says Satan supports killing should say something. Very telling to say the least. I'd probably get burnt on a stick for saying LARPing is weird, but for this situation, it just is. LARPing is Jake, a minor, to Lucia, an adult, telling her that he loves her, all the while telling her that the people calling her out and holding her accountable should be ignored. And speaking of ignoring people, he's actively told people to ignore Peachi and the others trying to spread awareness of Sema. If that doesn't scream dodging accountability, then I don't know what does anymore. Let's not forget that Maize has also been one of the people falsely reporting someone for simply calling out Lucia and Sema. And do I have to remind you that this can and will get you terminated? Oh wait, I forgot to mention, Maize got struck 2 times because he was actively targeting someone who was calling you out on your BS with Lucia. Now I am unsure if these strikes were from the person he was targeting named Marcy, or from other people trying to defend her from their hateful rhetoric towards Peachi and the others. It may be karma, sure, but I think it's more of a sign that should have taken accountability. And to Marcy, if you're watching this, I hope you do learn that making these kind of stuff won't really do much other than fuel the fire. I understand you were doing it for fun or to cope, but that's never going to work, and I hope you do take your time and take some form of accountability. Also, I find it interesting that he said to ignore Peachi while actively being in Peachi's comment section screaming about how it's her fault that this drama even started, or how Sema is innocent of all that jazz, and just spewing hateful things to her. Also, there's him encouraging Sema's pairing with Xander. Again, do I have to remind you of his sexuality, saying that it's for Lucia to feel better? And speaking of Xander, Maize has been making posts about Xander's age being over 18, more specifically, 22 years old by his birthday being on the 29th of October, 2003. And this is assuming they're using his year of birth to the present year, which is not true. Even if it's someone's AU or the current year, that doesn't mean it validates the fact that Sema is dating a gay person, let alone a canonical one. And if you want to do the math correctly with Xander's age, which has been stated he's 16 to 17 years old, the Music Freaks' year setting is 2019 to 2020. And 2020 is when Rosie released the first episode of the series itself. It's an easy math problem to solve. Don't act like the current year is how old Xander will be. A trivia is a fun little detail that creators leave for fans to see. Some can be canon, some can be small details, and some should not be taken as gospel, like claiming he's 22 in real life when in the series he's 16, potentially turning 17. Xander won't age unless the plot says so. Sometimes I even wonder if these people have reading comprehension, because this is embarrassing. Oh, and did I mention that Maize, a grown man, is pairing himself with Stacy, a canonical 16-year-old? You can argue that it could be his OC that's aged the same as the Rosemeadow students at 15 to 17, and I would have given them the benefit of doubt. But until then, I'll assume Maize's OC is the same age as his real-life self. Now that we're done with Maize, let's go to the next person. Benny is also one of the people defending Sema. Their age? 20. Why is it always people who are in the same age bracket as me? I'm ashamed that they breathe the same air as me. I would say there isn't much about Benny other than he's parroting Lucia by actively stating that Sema apologized. He forgives her and that Peachi and the people holding her accountable should just shut up. Need I say more? However, there is a now deleted video that Benny made on a handful of people like Peachi, Cat and Green. Now I do have to rely on Peachi's reaction video on this, so bear with me. The first few seconds or a minute into Benny's video is unrelated, so we'll jump to when he does mention something about Sema. And that started with someone that goes by Green and Jadager, or we'll call Green. I've mentioned Green before in Maize's section, but he is a target that Benny did go for first. Benny and Green used to be friends, I assume, that were in good terms. That is until after said unrelated thing about being impatient on a series, which Greed did apologize for.
I enjoy the team named T12AU. And even worse is that stop supporting Sema or he will cancel the TMF sequel movie. Like, what the dude? What?
Benny rambled about Green canceling his movie due to the issue with Sema, which is his choice, that's for sure, if he has to deal with people supporting someone who has shown, time and time again, that they are not sorry for their predatory and incestuous content sent to a minor and homophobia. So far Green didn't cancel his movie, and I'm glad, because a passion project like that may have taken months to make, would be a waste if it were to be cancelled. It's his project. He has the right to cancel it or not. No one is entitled to tell him to not cancel it.
Why would you do that? And yeah, he really wanted to cancel the sequel for nothing.
Stating that he'd cancel it for nothing is a big understatement. If Benny had only listened to the people warning him about Sema, then that nothing would have been something.
Next is Peachi. She is really a harassing and bad person for betrayal.
Anyways, he rambles about Peachi next, which, this was a handful, and I mean it. Right off the bat he just calls her a harasser over betraying Sema, which by the way, Sema and Peachi didn't even know each other much. Back to the point.
She's trying to accuse her to hate Sema. She's being a homophobic.
Benny is stating that Peachi is accusing Sema of being homophobic to spread hateful rhetoric to her when, as a matter of fact, Sema has openly stated that she does not care if Xander is gay. Do I need to spell it out for you? No? Let's continue.
Also, harassing an autism, that's so fucked up.
Benny continues by saying that Peachi is harassing Sema, which is bold of him to state when he's friends with the exact same people harassing Peachi and the others calling Sema out. But let's move forward.
They make things worse. She doesn't give her a chance. And no, because you're acting like a hater for trying to tell her that I'm not believing you.
Stating that Peachi isn't giving Sema a chance, being a hater and not believing Sema's apologies. I don't think I need to remind ourselves that Sema has made multiple apologies that weren't sincere and genuine. Anyone with common sense and reading comprehension can tell that these are not genuine apologies. Also, did we not establish as a community that making your gacha character cry is not a genuine apology but to guilt trip and sympathy bait? You didn't know that? Well, go watch Flodolendi's video on that, because my dear acquaintance here has explained what makes a good apology and what's a bad apology.
It's like Peachi is playing the victim here now.
Stating that Peachi is playing the victim when you yourselves act like the victims? Hypocritical much?
And yeah, don't believe Peachi from her video. Also, if Sema's gonna work on hard to apologize, please, it's real. Don't believe her from her issues and never trust Sema if doesn't ever want to hate Lucia.
Also, I find it funny that he told people not to believe in both the victim and the whistleblower, while telling the same people to believe in the person that traumatized someone. Kind of explains the type of person you are, Benny.
Yeah, that's all. Next person.
Oh, I also forgot to tell you guys that Peachi made sexual abusive videos out of Jake. And yeah, it's weird. So yeah, next person.
Damn that guy!
And also, accusing a minor of making videos of a minor character without proof, laughable. If you're going to make such allegations, bring receipts next time, because this accusation with no proof whatsoever is laughable and embarrassing. And by the way, the video you referenced is based on a minor's trauma, so weaponizing such horrible events to fit your narrative? You should have a place in the void where you'll even regret saying that shit. I've openly stated that I am an a survivor, and seeing people victim blame or weaponize their trauma is disgusting and unforgivable, period.
Last is Cat. She is a jerk, harassing, and she doesn't leave Lucia alone. And
Benny moves on with Cat. Right off the bat he calls her a jerk and stating that she's harassing Lucia and not leaving her alone. Projecting much?
yes, she is literally harassing Lucia for thinking she's a victim. Girl, just give her a break!
saying that Kat, the victim, is harassing Lucia, an adult, for playing the victim. Firstly, Kat and potentially others like Peachi, Green and a handful of people, have told Lucia to stop playing the victim and own up to her actions. Minors, telling an adult, to act like an adult. Do I need to explain it further?
Also, she told Blast Boy to make her rant about Lucia and Sema.
And accusing Kat of telling someone who goes by Blast Boy to make a video on these guys? On Sema and Lucia? Peachi does state in her reaction video to this that she suggested it to Blast, but he did it on his own fruition, which still leans on it being Blast's decision to make the video to spread awareness about it.
Why would you do that? She tried to take a break, and now you messed up for making a rape video.
Also, Benny, if you're even watching this video, be reminded that Lucia is 21, an adult. If she were to take a break, she should have taken that time to think about what she's done, not to escape her responsibilities and take accountability. I am a year younger than her and I have taken accountability for my own actions. Let that sink in.
And how old is Kat? Like, maybe she's like 23 or something.
Also, assuming a minor's age being older is laughable. Kat is 19 years old.
Also, if she doesn't like Sema's apology because she thinks that apology is fake.
Kat has every right to be mad about Sema and Lucia. She has the right to be mad at Maize. She has the right to be mad at you, Benny.
For nothing. You and Peachy planned this just because you wanted to make Lucia suffer. And
also stating that Peachy planned all of this to make your friend suffer. Clearly a lie, because from my understanding of this issue, Peachy, on her own fruition after a friend informed and requested her with her permission, made the video on Sema sending predatory and incestuous screenshots to said friend, and stemmed into this vitriolic hate and harassment campaign on a bunch of minors who were calling them out. Peachy trusted Lucia. In fact, they were really close friends. The reason why they broke off was that Lucia defended someone who created content that is not suitable for minors, unsolicited. Peachy has every right to be mad at her and call her out for the behavior he has shown. So stop coddling Lucia like she did nothing wrong.
And remember, Lucia has autism. And
also, the fact Benny mentions that Lucia has autism. Do I have to remind you why people don't take the excuse of people using their diagnosis on autism or even ADHD for that matter? I have made a rant on a predator for using his ADHD to groom minors. I am friends with people who have autism and ADHD. I am diagnosed with ADHD for a decade now. I nor my friends have used that as an excuse for bad behavior. But the fact you mention Lucia's autism as a shield to defend her behavior is sickening to me and sickening to people who have autism.
one of the pommies, if you watch this, if Xander grow 18 years old, then maybe let Sema do the ship between her and Xander. I don't care if he's gay.
You brat! I've heard enough out of you!
Also saying that Sema should wait for Xander to be 18 is a major red flag. That is a grooming tactic by textbook definition. Do your research on why it is bad to say that or do that as a whole. There isn't much to say about Danny other than saying that he seems complicit about this issue. Even though he relayed the info about Sema having a history of creating gacha heat, he didn't exactly hold Sema accountable. In fact, when he was first confronted about Sema making the suggestive content to Cat, he stated that Sema might have been hacked. Now, as a computer science student, the mindset of a hacker is vast, but the most common thing among them is to steal personal information or your bank information, which is dangerous. A hacker would not go out of their way to send suggestive gacha content, let alone it be incestuous and predatory. Now I have nothing else to say but for these guys to take accountability of their actions, properly apologize to the victims, get off the internet and seek literal help. Because all of this could have been avoided if Sema took accountability. All of this was avoidable, and it snowballed into a harassment campaign on a bunch of kids. I can't believe I even breathe the same air as these childish adults, these people who are defending predatory behavior and pairing themselves with children. I don't have much words to say but to tell you all to not engage with them, block them on every social media, blacklist them from your YouTube channel and spread this video around. In addition, please go support the victims involved. They do not deserve any of this and I hope for the best of their recovery as they had to deal with these creeps. This is Lissy Rosie, starting off 2026 with a bang, signing off for the day.